You feel like you got control over life, or is it just kind of something that you got to just experience?
I think you have to deal with it.
Life is something you got to deal with. It ain't nothing you really have control over.
No. It is, you know. You might wake up in the morning happy as you can be. And you feeling good too. Somebody gonna make you mad before it's over that day. And then some days you don't be, everything goes smooth. You know what I'm saying? That's the way life is. You know? Some days you got everything to deal with. And some days it's smooth. Everything's, well, you have to pinch yourself sometimes. Boy, that's it.
It's too good to be true.
Right. And then later on, everything hits you in the face. Bam! What the hell's going on, you know?
So what you saying? So in that moment when things are going good, what should you do?
Was the hero, Cameron Bitterman.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of on the run right now, so I decided just to do a voice note just to get this over to you instead of writing it. For me, the term trust the process, it just means to accept, whenever you're working on any kind of creative endeavor or any kind of business endeavor, or whenever you're working towards any kind of dream, it just means you have to accept all that comes with that dream and everything that comes, everything that happens during the time of you trying to make that dream a reality. That's your process. A lot of times people look at other artists or other people and they compare and they say, man, this person has this, why ain't I got that, or why didn't I get this look, or why didn't I do that? And the thing you have to keep in mind is that you don't know what that person paid for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know the price that they paid for that thing that they have, So when you are in your career and in your life and you have challenges or you have problems, or, or you're trying to build, your dream, those challenges that that come your way, that's the price that you have to pay. Like, that's your price. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't look at someone else's success and say, man, I wish I had that, because the price they paid for that, it may be a premium that's too high for you. You know what I mean? And, and if you trust, in yourself and, trust in God or the universe or however you want to describe it, whenever you have those challenges, you just accept it. It's like, yo, this is the price that I got to pay to get this done. And if you are a person of faith and you believe that God doesn't give you more than you can handle, you know what I mean, then you just got to figure out. It's like you don't take it personally. You just say, okay, this is my challenge. This is the price that I got to pay, you know what I'm saying, in order for me to achieve this dream. And if God is putting this in my life, then I know that I can pay it.
defined. Process. A series of actions that produce something or that lead to a particular result.
Yeah. We doing this. Man. It's Fine Tigger. And on the beat it's Juan Tigger.
Hopping into it. Just like you can't leave home without your keys to your car and to your house, you can't leave home without these 5 keys. And this comes from not just me reflecting into my process, but looking at other people's as well. The number one thing is you got to be proactive and be resourceful. You know, I don't care where you are. I don't care what you don't have. You got to find that bit of information. You have to find out. And it's almost like this is a skill set or a trait that's like, I don't know if you can like learn this or teach this. I don't know, but this is like the air you breathe. You have to be willing to be this proactive and resourceful. You cannot let anything or anybody get in the way of you figuring out what you have to figure out to do what you got to do. You know, I think about when I was starting out with sports. My mom didn't have the answers, but somehow she was proactive and resourceful enough to find out something to get the ball rolling. You know. And that's just from a parental standpoint, but I'm talking also to the athlete, to the player, to the tech, to the app builder. You have to be willing to be proactive and resourceful. You got to use the things that surround you. And that's what makes for a unique person and process. When we start getting caught up in how somebody else is doing it and what they have and all that, that's just, it's not necessary. Rule number 1, you have got to be proactive and resourceful in finding the solutions that you need to do what you need to do, period. If you're not willing to do that, you can forget about it. Key number 2, understanding that goals equal boundaries equal direction. And this is so simple. Me being in North Carolina, if I say to myself, hey, let's go to New York, and we hop on I-95 South. The goal is New York, which is north, but we're hopping on I-95 South. It doesn't make sense. We're going in the wrong direction. So what is a goal? A goal just gives you direction. A goal gives you boundaries. If the goal is north, okay, that already provides us with some kind of context, with some kind of, at least a direction on where we need to go in. And a lot of times that's all you really need to know. If you have a goal in mind, there's just certain things that you're not going to do. You know, you come across these people who are just very rogue in life. There are no boundaries. There's no goal. A goal would tighten you up. A goal would make you walk the straight line if you really want to achieve. That's the second key. Number 3, building and maintaining healthy and positive relationships. When it comes down to the relationships, how do you decide what's a good relationship? I'm talking about people just in your process that can help. What is the criteria of a person that can help you? It's 3 things. They got to know you, they got to like you, and they got to trust you. If the coach doesn't know you, to like you, to trust you, mom, dad, player, what are we talking about? Be known. Your name, your face, your presence has to be known. It has to be liked, and it has to be also trusted. If it's 1 of 3, if it's 2 or 3, it's not good enough. It has to be 3 of 3. These are the kind of relationships that you want to have in your ecosystem. You know the person, you like the person, and you trust the person, and you want that back. You want that to be reciprocated. This is the foundation of a good, healthy relationship. If you don't know, like, or trust that person, if that person doesn't know, like, or trust you, but a relationship can do things for you. A relationship can connect the dots in ways that you can't for yourself. You got to build good, healthy relationships along your process. You know, it's always interesting to see that person that you meet, they're kind of low on the pole. Fast forward 5, 10 years later, things change a little bit. But how's your relationship with that person? Did you piss on that person? I talked earlier about my elementary school principal to my high school principal. That's just one relationship that came back around full circle, and that was there for me when I needed to be. Your quality of relationship is going to bring about a quality of opportunity and experience. You know, we need people and places that can vouch for us and that can speak on our behalf when we can't, when we're not there. The fourth key that I found to be very important is sources of inspiration. You know, when I think about, and any of my childhood friends would tell you this, Shawn Kemp was my source of inspiration. I mean, I wanted to play basketball because of Shawn Kemp. Everything about him, from his hair, to his number, to how he wore his uniform, to his shoes, to his style after he dunked on cats. I wanted to play because of Shawn Kemp. And when I think about why I didn't stick with soccer, culturally, demographically, I didn't have no source of inspiration. I had no point of reference. Is there anybody that's in my scope and line of understanding or whatever that I can tune into and say, you know what, yeah, I can be that or I can do that? We did it. We played soccer because just energetically, that's what I liked and enjoyed doing. But to stick with something, I'm talking about when the times get rough, when the days get dark, what inspires you to do what you do? You gotta have something. I mean, it has to be a movie, a book, something, somebody that inspires you. It's gas, literally gas to your vehicle. You need inspiration. And so many people out here operating without any source of inspiration. I don't know how they're getting by. Gives you a fresh breath of air when you tune into your source of inspiration. A magazine, a movie, anything. But allow yourself to be inspired. A lot of people want to shut that off. Allow yourself to be inspired. And the last thing is, don't overinvest. Don't overinvest. I mean, it's easier said than done because we all feel some kind of way about what we're doing. We're passionate about what we're doing. We believe in what we're doing. We have a goal. But yeah, there's a price to be paid. You know, I talk to a lot of parents about the youth. You know, equipment, shoes, travel. You got to invest. And the kids also need to understand this too. As you're making these investments, they need to understand that, damn it, this is an investment. We don't have to be doing this. Don't overinvest. You got to know when your time is up. You got to know when it's time to move on. You got to know when you say this ain't for me. But you got to try. But these 5 things, I'm going to go back through them, and I'm going to be referencing the book quite often because this material is stable, but it grows with time. You got to be willing to be proactive and resourceful in finding your solutions no matter where you are, no matter what's going on. That's number 1. Number 2, goals equal boundaries, and it gives you direction, period. Number 3, building and maintaining healthy relationships. You cannot get up that ladder of success without them. Get that out your mind. Number 4, healthy source of inspiration, music, whatever it is that can keep your mind in tune and your soul and heart in tune to the goals and the boundaries and the direction that you're setting for yourself. And number 5, you just don't want to overinvest. And that's the hardest part because our hearts are really attached to the things that we love and care about. And we have to keep this in mind. You can spend a lot of resources that you don't have if you're not careful. And it can really throw things off balance. And all of this is just coming from my experience.